Hey everyone, today I'll be reviewing a LEGO Knights Kingdom set. It's going to be on set number 8702, Lord Vladek. This set is ages 6 to 12, it contains 112 pieces, it was released back in 2006 and retailed for $20 in the US. So I got a lot to say in this review, so for those who are watching, please bear with me. I've never really seen a full in-depth review of this set on YouTube, so maybe I'm the first one really doing it here. But recently, my good old pal Thatch Mac made a whole big old video talking about the theme of Knights Kingdom in general. So I'm adding to the plate talking about a set that he didn't get to cover, which was this, the final Vladek set that came out in the third and final year for Knights Kingdom. It's one of the two main tie-in sets, if you want to say, because along with Vladek, who has a big cannon, there's another set prior, kind of opposing to it. We have King Jaco with a big catapult, which you'll probably see that very shortly here. But I got a lot to cover here, so I'm going to go right in. I have the whole set here, and I'm going to start with the box first. So moving Vladek and his cannon off to the side, we have this awesome box. So usually with Knights Kingdom, it's usually in a canister, but for this occasion, we have the set in a box. I think it's one of the most higher pieces sets, like King Jaco's catapult. It's 112 pieces. Got Lord Vladek here with his cannon. Got his name on the bottom there. Cool font, cool logo for Knights Kingdom. Set details, pretty cool. And I believe the name of the Knights Kingdom setting or location is something like Morica. I'm probably wrong. For those that know, you can correct me in the comments below. I should have done a little bit more research before this, but it kind of sounds like the Mines of Moria. If you guys know Lord of the Rings is, that's a little reference for that. Kind of sounds like it's a reference, but that's pretty cool. On the top of the box, we got looks like his mask and the actual sides. That's pretty cool. And it kind of looks like another different symbol. That's his, it's his whole shield. It's just zoomed up and you kind of can't tell, but that's his whole scorpion shield. That's pretty cool. And on the side of the box, we have his symbol, which is a scorpion, and then Vladek again with his cannon, and then the castles in the background. Actually reminds me of Exoforce, but this was before Exoforce came out because they kind of like two divisions on each side. One's evil, one's good. So you got that going on. And flip around to the back, we got a lot going on here. First, we have a big old advertisement for the other sets. We got Vladek here once again with his cannon. Got King Jaco right there. We got Sir Adric, I think that's his name. I probably butchered it. I'm sorry. And then Sir Kentis, awesome dude. I have him. I'll show him shortly. And that's, yeah, King Jaco's catapult. Really awesome. And then on the bottom, there are all these sets and their packaging. So we got 6 sets, 3 bad guys, 3 good guys, so they're equal. Kind of like a little Bionicle showdown going on here. But the canisters, I don't have, or not, yeah, canisters, but the tin cans, I don't have any of them, but they look pretty awesome. Thatch does. You already covered that in his video. And actually at the tippy top, we got some of the play functions, which I will show shortly, but they show that also. So that's pretty much it for the box, and I have one more thing to show, which are the instructions. Alright, so I wanted to reposition the camera to look at these instructions a bit in depth more, as there's quite a lot to look at them, but I just want to glaze over this real quick. This came with the set when I got it. It's the Knights Kingdom Challenge card game rules, and it looks like it's mainly advertising the first wave of sets. It's a whole card game. If you want to pause it, go right ahead, but it seems to kind of be like a kind of joust game, and you have like joust rules and then abilities or challenge skills for, like, it represents all the other animal symbols for the knights. We have the hawk for speed, agility for the monkey, strength for the bear, and wisdom for the wolf. It's very interesting, and it's saying that you can get these cards in the main steps themselves, and also, and there's like a board game, Save the Kingdom board game. But if you guys want to pause it, I'm just going to look at them real quick. If you want to read everything, I kind of just glazed over it, unfortunately. I'll probably look at this a bit more, but I just want to mention that real quick, because I thought it was quite interesting. Now, let's look at the instructions. These instructions are in great condition. There's only one page that's loose, so you can tell a little bit right there. But here's Vladek once again, same as the box art. And as soon as we flip open the whole instruction booklet, we have Vladek and the cannon and all its pieces here. It's separated. I've never seen this before. I could be wrong, maybe it's in Bionicle, but I've never seen this before with owning a LEGO set. But this is really cool. So you have all the parts of Vladek here, and the cannon on the right side here. So it's all organized out for you, just in case you need that. But I think that's pretty useful and convenient. Works out well. And of course, first you start building with Vladek, and you go on to build the cannon. Very simple and nice little build. And in the back, you got a crap ton of advertisements. This was already in the back of the box, so I already looked at that, talked about it. and this is for the system sets. These are really awesome. I think these are really underrated. You got like a whole tower battle here. There's so much going on. And then you have a whole bridge battle, and then looks like Drakus's kind of boat. But I like how they were trying to make the contraction figures and the system sets all one thing, so they're not separated from one another. There's Vladek right there as a figure. Really awesome. Really like this. And then it goes on to being a whole comic, and the art for these comics, this comic is awesome. It just takes up like the whole rest of the instructions. So you got Vladek here forging some kind of like more magic dark sword with, I don't know what he's forging it with, but he's got an orb for Morica, or I'm just going to call it Morica. I'm probably way wrong about it. But yeah, Karzan behind him, and Drake is supposed to be there, but I think he's just cut out. But that's really cool. And there's a whole battle here, and it's just it gets a nice feel for the setting and aesthetic, and everyone's just battling, duking it out with one another. It looks like Vladek's sword kind of like is trying to like trap the other knights, as it looks like Kentis is kind of wrapped up in vines, and I don't know what Jaco kind of looks like metal. Adric just looks like he's alright. Now on the next page we got Vladek using his sword to stop the cannonballs from the catapult. You got Drakus piloting. This is the same boat you see from the system sets. That's really cool how they incorporate that with the art. The whole attack here, and this looks like to be the final battle because they have a whole tower here that was shown earlier, and it looks like Vladek is using his sword to make some kind of contraption. I think that's what he used to make the cannon here. That's pretty cool. And you see Drakus is firing off at the castle, the tower. And now we get the final battle. What's going on down here? Looks like Jaco's trying to chase after Vladek to stop him from destroying this big old orb here. I don't know what the deal was with the orb, but Vladek wants to use it by using it, destroy it by using his sword. And Javik, I'm thinking of Life of Night. Jaco uses it, Jaco finds a freaking shield. I don't know where the shield came from, but looks like Sir Kentis and Adric came right in time to help him, and they used the 3 shields together. Actually, here's my theory, right? Looks like the shield's coming from this tower because he's holding the shield. Looks like he just got it, and now he's about to use it against Vladek. And he does, and he traps him in an orb. And the knights win. It looks like Sir Kentis is knighted, and you see the other 2 knights from previous years, and that's Sir Kentis' unicorn freaking symbol, horse symbol. But this is really cool. This is a nice addition that they wouldn't usually have in LEGO sets nowadays. But that's a really awesome comic, really awesome art. And I believe they had that for the previous years, and then the rest is just your kind of normal LEGO advertisement. And on the back, got this really awesome advertisement once again with Sir Adric and Karzan duking out, and then there's the tower separate once again with the villains and the heroes. Really awesome. That's it for the instructions, and now let's look at Lord Vladek. Alright, so here we have Lord Vladek and his cannon. I will look at Lord Vladek first, obviously. We'll get back to that very shortly, but this is my favorite variation or look of Lord Vladek because you get 3 versions of him. He's the main villain throughout the entire theme and story of Knight's Kingdom, and this guy doesn't seem to age a bit. So you have King Jaco, who was a young knight in the first 2 waves of Knight's Kingdom, and then now he's like an old man. He's the king now. But Lord Vladek doesn't seem to change one bit. He has the same face, I think, as he does in the second wave. I think it starts to change in the second wave, but this is the same face that he has in the second wave. So it's really weird. I don't know why. I don't know what's going on. Is he like Ra's al Ghul from Batman, who just, kind of de-ages himself? I don't know. It's a weird thing. Before we really look at him also, you probably already noticed his sword is really frigged up. When I got this set, the axe on the sword was hanging on for dear life. So I had to glue it real quickly for this review. I did it last night, and you can see all the gunk around it, so my apologies. It's bent off to the side, so it looks awful. It's actually dangling now. I don't want to mess around with it. But I just want to point that out beforehand. But the sword is really, really awesome. You can see it there. Really interesting and different design for any of their swords in the theme. Vladek kind of has like a normal sword throughout the entire story, but now this seems like to be his main sword, and I really like it. And his emblem, as it's shown in the box, is a scorpion, and this is a really awesome shield, really cool, very big too. It's one of the bigger shields, I believe, and he had the scorpion emblem on his chest also. And he uses many of the same armor pieces as his other allies in the theme for this wave, actually. Here we have Karzan, who's one of my other favorites. You see he uses the same armor pieces for the upper arms as Karzan, and also the lower legs with those pieces the same color in black as well, but they had different unique chest pieces. So Vladek has his own design. But Vladek actually has a kind of, don't want to say it's gear function, but function in general. It's behind this cape, and this cape, I gotta talk about this for a moment. This cape is absolutely awesome. I believe it's very rare and hard to get on Bricklink, but it's really, really cool. You can see it's kind of tattered up in the bottom, on the ends of it, and it's really cool. It goes on very easily. It's not like King Matthias in the previous years where you have 2 holes, or like a normal Lego minifigure. You just have 1 hole, and you put it over right before you attach the head on. Okay, so I had to cut the camera for a second because this happened. Like I mentioned just a few minutes before, Vladek's sword was like on the edge of breaking off, and it did. Right in the minutes of I was talking about, I think it was like his gear function or the wheel function moving his arm, and all of a sudden the sword just popped right off. So that was just fantastic, and now I took the glue off of it, so it's completely cleaned off now, and now the axle is completely separated from the hilt of the sword. So that's just fantastic. So just gonna have Vladek out his sword for this review. But getting back to Vladek, talking about his play function on the back. I already talked about the cape and everything. So we have this little wheel in the back. I kind of want to call it a gear function, but it's not exactly. But when you turn this wheel, move out his arm a bit more, up and down, his arm will swivel side to side, kind of like a butterfly attachment arm, I guess I want to say that it is. But this is only unique to him and him only, because no other Knights Kingdom figure or character has this feature, so it's completely unique to him. I just put his shield on his left hand so he can just swing around, kind of block an attack from anyone else that he's fighting. Or he can use his sword, but I can't even do that right now. But it's a cool feature. I always like this. There's sometimes you usually have the 1 wheel, sometimes you have the 2, so you can move both arms. That was in the 2nd year. I believe it also goes into the 3rd year, also as Sir Kentis, one of the heroes, has that. But that's very cool. It's unique to him pretty much. Something I'm completely glazing over pretty much, taking his shield off, and that's, he's holding that by a blue pin and axle. I'm just going to leave that on. But for posability, it's not the greatest. With him standing up, it's he doesn't have any ankle pivots. None of these characters do. None of these figures do. So it's hard to have them stand up, and also moving their feet around. Also, you can keep moving to side and up and down usually. But when you want to like space out the legs a bit, you kind of like if you move that foot down. But they tend to fall back like that. If I just leave them like this, he'll just keep falling back over and over again. But that's the only main problem I have with it. But the entire leg, move back and forth, and you have that little loud crunch sound, which isn't always the greatest. It's the friction going with the pieces. That's what they were used. These were used originally for this Lego theme, I believe, and then it goes on to Exoforce. Well, many different colors. You see the hands also. He has them in dark red, and many other pieces. His feet are in dark red. You have like a mix of like gray also. You can see in the back here a bit better. Whole chest piece. So it goes along with the color scheme very well, at least. But you can move the entire lower leg 360 degrees, also forward and back, any way you like it. Same goes for the lower arms. The hands are just one piece, so that completely stays together. You cannot move that at all. The entire arm, move forward and back. I don't always like that sound. It's just too loud, but not too loud, but it's it gets annoying when you're trying to move it real quickly. With Bionicle figures, it kind of squeaks, but it's not as loud as that. With his head, you can move to side, but it kind of restricts with the helmet. But outside of that, and also speaking of the helmet, let's look at his beautiful face that I like to show. So this is the same helmet that he uses in year 2, and also goes with the same chest piece. I believe I already mentioned that, but the colors are just reverted, and it's a different color here for the helmet. It's kind of like a black, and then it's like silver, like sprayed on it, like little specks and spackles onto it. The same color goes for the system pieces on his thighs also. So we flip this up. We got his beautiful face. Look at that. It's the same face he has for year 2, so that's why I was talking about how he doesn't age at all, but Jaco does. But it's it's not the most beautiful, but yeah, big red eyes, and it looks like he's like being possessed by a demon, and he's got a nice frown going on, I guess, and he's got like sideburns, it looks like. I don't know, maybe that's just me, but he's also got a little black hair, so you get the whole deal. And he's got big black bushy eyebrows and a mean nasty nose. Excuse me. So flipping that back down, and also with him, he doesn't have most of the helmets for Knights Kingdom have an axle connection. Like for instance, Mr. Karzan, here's his. You see the axle connection right there, and some of the other knights. But almost said Karzan. Vladek does not, so that's pretty interesting. But yeah, that's pretty much it for Vladek. And now let's take a look at the catapult. Oh, I forgot to zoom out. My apologies. Here's the catapult. And it's a pretty standard build, like I mentioned when we were looking through the instruction booklet. It mainly uses bigger pieces. These big pieces right here were used for the lower leg armor for Vladek and also other of the villain characters. We got 2 wheels here. It's your kind of standard catapult, but only it's like a giant missile, which you have this. I don't have an extra one of these. I don't know if it came with an extra one in this set, actually. I doubt it did, but these are freaking awesome, but they're also, you know, shoot your eye out. And you see the little Barak guy here. We're going to have our demonstration here today. We have Sir Kentis. He is one of the other LEGO Knights Kingdom Knights. If we zoom out a little bit, we're going to try to hit him directly in the face, and let's see how we do. And also, you can just kind of lift this up and down to get a range of how long you want to shoot it out, or just leave it the way it is. I'm going to leave it the way it is, and bam, we got him. And did I lose it? I think I did. I don't know where it is. But yeah, the missile you can easily lose, but it's a nice little, oh, no, it's right here. Okay. Here we go. But yeah, it's a pretty cool function. It's nothing crazy. Like I said, standard build. I kind of like these big structure builds. If we had a huge castle set with the, like, for the size of the characters, that would have been incredible, but I think that would be, like, cost way too much, and I don't think they would do that back then. Maybe nowadays, but back then I don't see that being possible. But yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think of anything else to comment about this. There's not too much to it. This was a part of use of a mace piece that you see Sir Kentis uses for his weapon, the mace. And yeah, I mean, that's mainly it. It's like I mentioned, that lifts up, and yeah, that's basically it for Lord Vladek and his catapult here. Now it's time to wrap up this review, and yeah. Alright, so that wraps up for this review. Thank you all for watching. I'm assuming this is a long video because I probably took like 5 minutes to talk about everything, like going from the box to the instructions to the whole set itself. So if you bear with me, thank you so much for watching through this whole video. I would like to sincerely thank Thatch Mac for getting this set for me. He's the one that found it for me. I got the set when I was at Brick Fair, and if it weren't from him, I would never have this set, so thank you, Thatch, so much. I had the pleasure of reviewing this set. I think I really went in depth, but I'm sorry if it was really messy. I'll try to polish up a bit more in future reviews if I decide to review any other LEGO Knights Kingdom sets. I do have, I showed earlier, Sir Kentis here, and also Karzan. He's one of the other villains. I already showed that in this review also. So if you guys want to see reviews of those guys, let me know. I don't want to create the whole channel reviews, but I really want to do this set. This is a set that's not been looked at or really reviewed at all on YouTube, like I said at the beginning of this video. But that's all I gotta say. I really do like this set. If you have the chance to pick it up, I say you give, like, if you're really into fantasy, then LEGO Knights, LEGO Castle in general, and if you want to get a little feel for these sets, I definitely recommend getting this one. I think this is a great idea of how this whole theme is, and it says it all in this set. So yeah, that's all for this review. Thank you all for watching, and goodbye.